So you want to get an Airbnb out here in Oahu, Hawaii, but all you see are condo hotels, and all that you know is that condo hotels can't be financed. Well, in this video, I'm going to debunk that. We're going to go into understanding what condo hotels are, pros, cons, how to finance it, and we're actually going to go through the numbers of how a condo hotel could potentially cash flow. It may be a good investment for you. So stick around to get all the details. See you on the other side. All right, guys, in this video, we're going to go over condo hotels, what they are, pros and cons, and also different financing options and whether it's even a good idea. Now, before we jump into that, let me quickly introduce myself if this is your first time here. My name is Patrick Longley. I'm a licensed realtor out here in Oahu, Hawaii, and been helping buyers, sellers, and investors with their real estate needs for nearly a decade. With that being said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I got my contact information right here, or you can directly DM me on any of my social media platforms. With that being said, let's jump into condo hotels. Let's start with, what are they? So a condo hotel. A condo hotel is basically what you're hearing in the name. It's kind of a condo and it's kind of a hotel room. It's a little bit of both. And generally what we find is these condo hotels are attractive to people who maybe want to use it every once in a while, but want to rent it more specifically on the short-term rental market or the Airbnb market. And most of the buildings specifically out here in Oahu, Hawaii that are legally zoned for short-term rentals, which are very difficult to find, are like 50 to 70% of them are condo hotels. Now, this isn't the most attractive option for most people because generally they want more of a lifestyle of living in a studio or a condo that's actually an actual condo and not so much a hotel room. And these condo hotels, when you see them, as you can see in this video right here, they're exactly that. They're more of a hotel room. They generally don't have a full legal kitchen, and a full legal kitchen has a sink, stove, and a fridge. Maybe it'll have a small fridge or a sink, but maybe not a stove. It usually will have two of these three elements. Generally, it's a sink and a fridge or a mini fridge, but it won't have a stove, so you can't really cook in that place. So it's more of a hotel room in that sense. Another challenge with that is if you don't have a full legal kitchen, you generally cannot get conventional financing on these. So these condo hotels may look attractive on the front end because they're 100 grand, 200 grand, 250 grand, but you can't get financing on them. So a common misconception that has been thrown out, and I have been debunked just recently when I found this new product, is that you have to pay all cash for them. And that can be kind of a hard pill to swallow because people don't have 250 grand just laying around to buy a hotel room. But I'm here to tell you that there is actually a financing option, and we're going to go over what those terms look like. We're also going to go over crunching the numbers for them so you can actually swallow what the concept would be and how much cash you'd actually have to bring to the table. But before we do that, let's understand the pros and cons of condo hotels so that you can get the full grasp of it before we actually get into the numbers. Pro number one, price point. So as you can see, there's a huge list of condo hotels. There's plenty of options out here. You just want to make sure you pick the right one, but they are at a price point that is more reasonable from what you can generally see out here in Hawaii when you go to buy a condo or a single family home. If you want to buy a standard condo or single family home, the median sales price for a condo right now is about 480 grand, 500 grand. And for a single family home, it used to be about 1.1, but now it's come down a bit and it's floating around $990 million for a single family home. So that's a large price point to have to hit and a large payment that you have to show up with. But with these condo hotels, $100,000, $200,000, that can be very attractive if you can finance it. So that would be pro number one. Pro number two, in-house management. Now, it's kind of a pro, it's kind of a con, but if you buy these condo hotels, they're generally in a hotel room. They already have all the staff, the cleaning crew, the admin, the front desk, all of that already kind of built in. So it's almost a turnkey business for you. Of course, the numbers check out, but you can actually tap into that where the hotel can manage it for you. They can clean it for you. They can even fill it up with people who want to rent that place out in their hotel pool. So that's definitely a pro where you basically have a turnkey business in a box and all the staff to support it without you having to hire it all out and manage all those people. Con number one, not every building allows for self-management and better margins. Now, what I mean by this is some buildings only allow you to purchase the condo hotel and the hotel is only people who can manage it. So you're basically kind of become a partner, right? So they're going to fill it up with people who show up that are interested. They're going to put it in their pool or their hotel pool as they call it, and they're going to clean it for you. They're going to deal with the clients that show up and basically do everything, but they're going to take a piece of the pie. So if you were to make, let's say, 6 grand in gross revenue, after all expenses and the hotel takes their piece, you're probably looking at about 50%. So maybe you'll take home about 3 grand, sometimes a little less. But on the flip side, if you self-manage it, usually those margins can be closer to about 70%. So maybe your margins, instead of 50% expenses, they're more like 30%, where you can just pay a property management company 10%. They kind of handle everything. So your margins have become better, a couple more headaches, But the big con, and what I was alluding to earlier, is not all buildings allow you to do self-management. So you're kind of stuck in whatever program they have. Mind you, there's less headaches, but if you don't have that option, if you get screwed because let's say HOAs go up and your expenses go up the roof, you're not making any more money, you don't have an option to even do self-management. So that is definitely a big con you want to look out for. Con number 2, low appreciation. So with these units, you know, when it comes to investing, you're really looking at 2 strategies. You got cash flow and you got appreciation. If you can get both, that's quite the unicorn, but difficult to find out here in Hawaii. This is strictly a cash flow strategy. You are not going to get much appreciation in these condos simply because there isn't a bunch of buyers who are interested in these condos. That's why there's so much inventory and so many options, because the only people who are buying these units are generally investors, and investors who just want to make some extra cash flow. They want a business in a box, but you don't have primary residents who are looking to buy these because they can't get conventional financing on it. You got to get this creative solution, which we'll go over in a second. You're not going to be selling to military. They can't get a VA loan on it because there's a front desk and it just doesn't even have a full legal kitchen. So at the end of the day, you just don't have that many people who want to live in a hotel room. Only the people who are actually interested in buying it to invest in and basically do exactly what you're doing. So with that being said, you don't have a huge buyer pool, so the appreciation doesn't go up the roof like it generally does with a standard condo, townhouse, or single family home out here. So it's definitely something you want to keep in mind, that it's not so much an appreciation strategy, it's a cash flow strategy, and units just don't appreciate that much when it comes to condo hotels. Okay, so we got a solid foundation. We know the pros and cons of condo hotels. Now you're probably wondering, okay, Pat, what are my financing options? I want to do it. I understand it. What are my financing options? Because I've been told you can only pay cash. Well, I'm here to show you some of your options. Now, if you want to connect for the lender who can actually finance this, comment down below or reach out to me. Again, I've got my contact information right here. Feel free to give me a call, text, email me, and I can get you connected with the right lender who can actually provide this product to you for those condo hotels. But let's go over, if you are interested in doing it, what do the terms look like for financing a condo hotel? The first thing you need to understand is the down payment. So the down payment for one of these puppies would be 30%, similar to like a portfolio loan. You have to put 30% down if you want to finance one of these units. So in a scenario, let's say you have a $200,000 condo hotel that you want to purchase, 30% of that would be 60 grand. So you got to bring 60 grand to the table plus closing costs and any points you got to buy down, which we'll go over in a second. So this is going to be a 15-year 30-year amortized loan with a balloon payment. I know that was a mouthful, so let's break that down really quick. So you're going to be making payments as if it was 30 years amortized, so basically extrapolate over 30 years, but you need to make payments for 15 years. So once you get to that 15th year, whatever is left, you need to pay in full with what they call a balloon payment. Now, generally, the plan of action is to sell the unit prior to the balloon payment. Don't want to hold on to something for that long probably. And if you do, you could potentially refinance, but that's a whole different conversation. So you have a 15-year loan, 30-year amortized, so it's been extrapolated, so the payment is actually less than if it was a 15-year loan, but by that 15th year, you need to make a balloon payment of whatever is left. The interest rate, now, of course, this can change, but just since I've had the conversation with my hookup on this loan, the interest rate right now is 6.5%, and that is going to be principal and interest. So it's not just an interest-only loan, it's principal and interest, and then, of course, you got to factor in taxes, insurance, HOA, things like that. Now, to get that rate and to get into this program, the lender also requires that you buy points. I know, guys, just keep in mind, before you would only be able to buy these all cash. There's not a lot of people even give you a financing option, so hang in there with me. So you're gonna have to buy points as well. Right now the program is 2.25. So how that works is 2.25% of the loan amount. And I'll show you an example. We're going to look at a loan amount of about $255,000. So you're looking that you have to bring to the table plus closing costs of about $5,700 to get that rate and to get into this program. Okay, guys, well, that were the terms in a nutshell. If at this point you're still confused or have more questions, again, reach out to me. I have plenty of answers for you, or I can connect you with the lender who can actually explain this product to you a little bit more. Got my contact information right here. Feel free to call, text, or email me. Now let's put this in a scenario. So let's look at an actual unit and let's break down the numbers and show with the income statement that the seller is actually providing how much you would actually take home in this current scenario at a full asking price. What would be your take home? Okay, guys, so I had my lender who's got that beautiful product for these condo hotels actually crunch the numbers specifically on this property for $365. Now, I went ahead and added a couple more numbers just so we had a more solid number, and also have the income statement for this similar unit. So if we actually see here, this is the numbers you're probably looking at. A $365, you have to put 30% down, so you got to show up with 110 grand. You're also going to have to show up with another $5,000 for buying the rate down, and then probably another $5,000 for closing. So it's probably closer to about 120 grand you got to show up with. But this is what your monthly would be, right? About 2,400 bucks would be your monthly. That's going to be including the HOAs, property tax, home insurance, things of that nature. Okay, so 2,400 bucks. Now, if we look at the income statement, and most of these condo hotels, at least the smart guys who are actually trying to sell them, will provide the income statements, because most of the time investors are buying and they want to see the numbers. So we can see here, after you factor everything, 27 days out of 31 days available specifically for this month. We see that the accommodation was 4,600 bucks. This is for somebody who did self-management, so you could probably expect less if you hired the hotel to handle it for you. They got cleaning fees, Airbnb fees. They got all the taxes all in here, and your grand net at the end is 3,500 bucks. So that's a cash flow of $1,000 a month. That ain't bad. That's an extra 12 grand a year for a hotel room that you potentially could utilize yourself. So, I mean, it's not buku bucks, but you can imagine if you start stacking some of these condo hotels up, if you got a couple extra 100 grand laying around, because you do have to bring some cash to the table, you could create a business in a box of about, $1,000 plus, but probably closer to about $1,000 a month from these units. So that's kind of the breakdown of the numbers when it comes to these condo hotels while utilizing financing opposed to just paying all cash. So as you guys saw, you can cash flow out here in Hawaii, which is very difficult to do. And more importantly, you can do it with one of these condo hotels. Now, you do need to bring some money to the table, right? This isn't 3.5%, 5% down payment, primary residence. So you can get into that for, not that much of a down payment. This is a 30% down payment. So this is definitely a strategy for seasoned investors who have some cash, who want a business in a box where they can have a unit that they can enjoy every once in a while, but also rent out in the short-term rental game legally, which is very difficult to do out here in Hawaii. This would be your solution. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Got my contact information right here, or you can directly DM me on any of my social media platforms. Again, I'm Patrick with PatrickLongRealty.com, powered by eXp Realty. Hope you guys have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you soon. Aloha.